TFT stage could have been over just a couple of days ago. Lexi just eats the entirety of that flash for breakfast. Not very nutritious. How many calories do you think are in a flash, Zeno?
Dear God, I don't watch my nutritions enough, but as long as there's enough sodium in there, you know what runs to sodium? Copium. And that's what we want to see. But still, for Lexi, like I said, he tried to get close, but I think he was chilling with the shorty, right? Yeah. So he can't get close if he doesn't want to expend his satchels. Okay. So now we got guns. We are talking business here, ladies and gentlemen. But I also know that Bleed happens to be having a ton of fun in their comms, according to some sources. So it's not like they're taking this too hard. If they're happy with getting your in fracture, I think that's just the name of the game. Just have fun.
When it comes to having fun in esports, our partners are some of the best people in the business to help that happen. MYSG is organized by the gaming company, supported by the wonderful people over at Riot Games, our esports broadcast platform.
It went from A all the way back to B. Okay. They're gonna take the long walk, but that's also because they secured the site. Okay, Lexi is running to Dalvai. Got him very low. First love as well. He's low, but it's all good because being crossed in by Lexi, but Mindfreak catches him out. He's gonna flick around, catches him looking the wrong way, and Lexi will take him out. Good point on the board for Bleed so far. Putting one early.
Different from Haven, managing to win their buy round. This is a little bit more towards what we expect of a standard Valorant script, right? You lose the first two, you win the third, but now you go up against a Paper Rex that's going to be fully loaded for Bear. Already an operator is going to be available on Forsaken. The question is, how are Paper Rex going to execute onto one of these sites? It's felt like there's been a couple of attempts from Forsaken to just try and penetrate into the mid area to be able to stop rotations from a defensive team, but this time it's all about A-holes.
That's right. It's funny to say that this is a skirmish map, right? But there is an equal amount of places that can be long. Okay, Forsaken whiffs that. And I think Chamber gets to live. Leaves okay, not really on Scaff though. Yeah, sorry.
Lena stays alive. Flaring does not though. And now the watching is good. Lena unable to really win out in that gunfight. Needs to reload for but a moment as Devi's going to get the plant in the corner. Forsaken does not miss it a second time. You had your chance, Frenchman. You should have surrendered. Darion now moving forward. Has one flash to work with and a gate crash as well, but unable to defeat Mindfreak, who drops down from on top. And you know what Obi-Wan Kenobi said, the high ground always wins. Yoru thinks you underestimate his power, but I think it's been estimated fairly accurately. Lexi caught looking elsewhere. Mindfreak gets yet another. And now Mindfreak has got a Viper's Pit ready for a next round.
Well put right there. I mean, first love, this hall is his area, and he's been nice. He's trying to get these kills. He got 2 at best. But is that damage done? All members of Bleed are dead, and also means no money in the bank on an eco here for now. And the operator is going to Forsaken in this time. So did they just hand Forsaken and a free operator? Not good.
Oh, Bleed. They aren't able to invest again, but there is the Hero Vandal on Flaring, which is an interesting choice. Admittedly, with the potential loss bonus, Flaring should be able to afford full gaming next time, but full gaming is exactly what Forsaken brings to bear. 2 updrafts. Forsaken is going to hit their head on the ceiling. It's okay. What's a concussion between friends?
Oh, here we go. Yoru coming in, giving the info play. But of course, Forsaken's trying to hold it down. And what a beautiful shot it is onto Flaring. He's cleared out almost all members of Bleed. And they will look to trickle in on site here. The ult from Durion got almost 0 value as he just runs past the members of Paper X to no avail.
Forsaken could be on for the ace here. Needs to quickly reload the operator to do so. But out of the 3 kills gained so far, all 3 have been the operator in the hands of one of Apex's greatest assets. Forsaken for many, the one to watch in 2022, one of the greatest hopes of SEA. And now they stand ready to try and intercept whoever might want to stop this pushover onto B. 4 versus 2. First Love with little in the way of armaments. Does bait out the shot, and now continues to fight it. Forsaken was a little bit intimidated there, and Benkai is going to try and take this into their own hands. No ace for you. We want to share out the glory.
Okay, yeah, everything just happened there. Defender's fault, no problem. But this starting peak though, he just went in and he reloaded out in the open, went unpunished, gets a point-blank shot onto Flaring while we have a random Yoru just running around trying to get info, but there's no one left on his team to take it. It was a Sage, it was a Yoru in his ult, he can't flash for you, right? So it's just down to a single Flaring trying to do work for his team, but of course easily taken out by Forsaken. That's not how you want to do it.
Oh my, Forsaken. Oh, Lena's like, no mate, I ain't dealing with that today. I ain't paid enough for this. Lena, once again, teleports away after being caught by the boombot. Now wants to use the tour de force to try and shore up the defenses of Bleed. Paper X on the other side, 5 ultimates ready. Unbelievable ultimate economy, unbelievable aim from Flaring. Turns away from the flash. It's actually the flash of their own ally, which gives them the full blind there. People aren't too used to the mechanics of a Yoru flash, which might be one of the few advantages Yoru really brings to the table.
Yep, that's true. And I believe that the wind-up time for the flash is actually decreased. So it actually flashes faster than it's supposed to. I don't exactly remember. But finding the right trajectory to not flash your own teammates, especially when you're executing on site, is going to be another topic. Still can be effective though. Doyon is still being chilling himself. 2 operators on the side of Bleed. You mentioned, okay, 1 on Dish. First Love might just be rewarded there, but he caught looking the wrong way. Looking to be an A push here now. Mind Freak is ready. Popping up the drop. Stopping whatever info for the enemy. And here we go, Jing with a very awkward showstopper. That's a big question mark in my book, but Lenny's gonna peek out there after knowing that Jing was just right there. This is a series, a curious case of Benjamin Button, and I don't mean the TV show, but the violence. He goes down to 3k already for Durion. Everything looking so good for Bleed all of a sudden, and Bankai is very low.
Darion simply built different, a separate dimension, a different boy with a teleport straight over to where Benkai is, and Benkai is forced to move elsewhere. A stall upon the defuse close to the aftershock. Benkai only needs a body shot to shut them down, but Flaring gives it to the head because a touch of precision as Darion puts that operator to good use.
Oh my god. I mean, okay, they dropped 1, they retrieved 1 operator, it's fine. There was 2 in the previous round, which is too much. But here, since Paper X gotten that buy again, I don't know if you want to make the same mistake for Bleed. I sincerely don't know how Bleed got that round. But everything happens so fast in Fracture sometimes. I think it comes down to like who gets an early pick from these long angles, because you know one of it has an operator. We got ult from Davai and Benkai if they really want to use this to get a sight here, but Durion just might be rewarded depending on who's fasting on the trigger finger. But Durion is the one that gets wall banged too, so he actually lives with 22 HP. A bleed on the back and takes out Jing, one of your entry fraggers down. They're looking to make a quick rotate to A site. Some of the members are still up on...
Concealment.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Benkai's gonna join them.
First Love with the judge. Oh, up close and personal. Forsaken never saw it coming, but as First Love drops on down, it's Flaring with a reinforcement. Another operator lost, and Darion should arrive on the scene shortly, wrapping around the back. Benkai going to be pinched in, but there's no time for pinching, there's only time for poking, and Flaring, when he pokes, you stay poked.
Oh gosh. Guys, I cannot believe my eyes. Paper Rex are sort of on an eco here right now. Yeah, Benkai is chilling on 66, but oh damn, 3 members potentially on eco, and Paper Rex calling a timeout. Is Bleed actually doing it?
Hold up, they know how to play Fracture. We weren't prepared for this. This is uncharted territories, you know?
Yeah, we weren't prepared for we weren't prepared for, you know, for this kind of scoreline. And we weren't prepared for a Yoru. What's going on?
Oh, the Yoru lays back, cracks open a cold one, says, don't worry, boys. All 3 of my kills are with this operator in 1 round, but that's okay. All I need is 1 round to show how good Yoru can be, and that'll convince Coach that I can play it on other maps.
Please do not make Yoru viable. Please. Until the new changes kick in, which is probably after this stage of VCT, we might see Yoru having a better, better opportunity to see more plays. But right now, he is being pulled up here. Ultimate Orb is only for 6 for an ult. We haven't seen a very effective gate crash play just yet. So they're playing really conservatively because Fracture is such a huge map. We don't really know who's hiding in the weird corner, who spotted your gate crash, right? So you can't really play mad plays like that. It's sort of like a budget chamber at this point because you can peek in, get a TP out just in case, but the wind-up time is a little bit too long. But you can play like a chamber role, just saying.
Yeah, like, the second that Chamber was introduced, the only reason Yoru had to exist as a character was gone.
Yeah, you're
Which
right.
was the quick relocation of a teleport. And now you are just bad Chamber. Speaking of which, there's the trademark, confirms the presence of Forsaken. It is a ramshackle buy here from the side of Paper X, son, there it is. Jet diff this!
He felt that, man. That pixel of a hit. And he was aiming at the right spot too with a little micro flick. So now he's down. After all, these are some vibes. Here we go. First Love gets in. It's hot. He takes 2 already. And the members of Hall, they have to back out even though the spike is still there. Can they make a reload?
Enemy remains.
Need one more flash. Never mind. Lenny suddenly catches Jin coming up from drop. And Paper X just took the fall. Bleed is going to equalize this up on Paper X's own map. But we can't exactly rest on those laurels. Because you know what Paper X can do, but just Bleed taking 4 points away from Paper X in their own map with Yoru? Guys, they're having fun.
I mean, they are playing such a weird comp as well. No Viper? No Breach? It's uncharted Fracture territory. But then again, it always was going to be here in MYSG. It's not like we are, like we have a bunch of tape here in this region for the map.
Not just that, one way though, Forsaken is trying to always take these skirmishes here up at Halls, but he's not going to get picked up by anyone now. Giving him the respect. But now they know Durion is on the Yoru. They know that his mobility is limited, right? Because if you have Yoru, you're playing back outside. Davai being walled off here, but Flaring is just making moves and diffing him out. Okay, there. Durion is already just trying to make some info plays, not really getting anyone though. So he's actually going to TP back up in their own defender spawn. No one on Bleed side is dead just yet. It's still looking good.
Interesting what they've set the footsteps here to feign a defensive rotation over to B as well. Forsaken moving in from one side. Lena, can they win the fight? They win both, in fact! Jing and Forsaken, number 1 and number 2 in APAC, number 1 and number 2 in the kill feed for Lena. Darion falls on down, but Mind Freak is so slow here, so vulnerable. The second they move through their own wall, though, it's an unexpected penetration into enemy territory. Flaring only has to hit a body shot, and it comes down to a 2 versus 1. Lexi from one side with plenty of utility, but none of it is needed, because guess what? The IGL, for sometimes Breach, for sometimes Viper, has become the premier raise.
What is going on? Are you not entertained? They took a point above Paper X and they are in the lead all of a sudden. You mentioned this 2Ks. They turn it into a round win for sure. So the MVP was Lenny. But we got to give a shout out to Mind Freak though. He was at 30 HP. He picked up on the Viper's wall and he got a big flick onto, wasn't sure. Was it First Love? Yeah, it might be First Love there. So... But still, this is what I was talking about. You gotta take out all members of Paper X first, as many as you can, before coming down to the 1v1 or 2 versus 1. That's where they have the most chance.
Double operator defense now. One of them aimed up exactly towards where Forsaken is. Darion feeling brave. It's time to, oh, this could be a collateral. Doesn't matter. Forsaken actually jumps up to it to hit 2. Oh, Darion tried to escape there, but simply could not TP fast enough. If only you were playing better Yoru.
Right?
That TP would have been almost instantaneous.
Oh, God.
Forsaken just runs into the spray.
Oh, thank you, Observer. He was so low and he just ran into it. Like, yep, let's just give Bleed this one though. And it's almost and flawless. Besides Durion giving his life with that operator. But Lexi off camera, he will take out Bankai and Bleed in what appears to be an unprecedented move. is going to be the first one to hit 6. Imagine if Paper Rex closes it out 6-6. It's still a testament, like, holy damn. These players are really popping off in not their own maps, I'm just saying.
11 rounds into Fracture, and Bleed have quadrupled the amount of rounds they've won in this match.
You're right.
They've gone from 2 to 8.
Guys,
here we are. Now this is an anime arc.
We have 13-2 in the first map of Haven, and that was Paper Rex's pick. But right in here, we are being granted a very, very good sense of VALORANT here. I think there are no operators, right? Yeah, they're all on an equal round here. Bleed looking likely. They could take this round, but not if you play like that. When you see Forsaken just ding people out with those sheriffs. But Dorian, gun, all right, takes out Benkai in the meantime. B-side open for the taking if so Paper Rex wants, but they are congregating around A still. That's on Arcade. Davai is already down. Flaring does have all if you want to use it, but that's Forsaken down as well. Suddenly there's 2 members left alive here. Operator is going to be on Lenny. Make that 4 versus 1, and very most likely he's going to swing up there. It's 4 versus none.
Did Lexi get a jumping headshot there off the back of a blast pack over the wall?
I think so. I wasn't exactly sure. Do we have a replay of that?
That is mad. That is, that's just different. And Darion there, I liked how they played it not too greedily on their defensive dish. They got 1 player, then they backed off. Did you just see the size of that crosshair in the operator?
Wait, what? Yeah, I just caught
Lexi?
it. 2 seconds.
Lexi, scope again. I need to know. I need to see.
Okay, Lexi,
Bleed
please.
here. We're having a good time.
Oh, God.
Look at that. That is an absolute chungus of a crosshair. That's got some biomass to it.
An absolute unit for sure. What? Yeah, okay. I mean, that's the logic, right? If you can't see the enemy's head, that's where you know the head is. Okay, but let's talk about that though. It's Jing down again. Why or how is this comp working out here? But Lenny takes out the fire with the biggest white peak of his life and dips him out as a chamber. And it's suddenly 3 members only left, the right? Mind Freak is gonna come up through teleporter. Oh, not really. The door's there, but the is ready for him. Whiffs out a couple of those shots, and you don't know Mind Freak's on hard right here. He will lock out, and he cannot run away from that one though. Lexi suddenly down to a 2 versus 1 though. Off camera, Blink thinks he's down, and now it's Lenny with a 3K. Are you guys seeing this? It's 8-4 Bleed in the lead. Because that rhymes for sure.
Well. Look how the turns have tabled. Maybe Yoru is OP after all. Nerf, please, Rito.
Not just that.
I'm being bullied by Japanese Dimension Man.
And not just that, guys. It's Yoru against a Paper Rex? Question mark? You gotta go back to the drawing board because Paper Rex might be asking themselves, what have I missed out on strat?
Take note, Tens. This is how you play a duelist.
Well, Tens is crazy on the jet, but if you put him on a Killjoy, for example, he just crumbles. But I do see a Yoru being a good play for him. But we see some highlights from Tens, right? But right now we see some highlights
before.
Exactly. Now we see onto Darion though. He's got some reels to look back to for sure. But Forsaken will start it off. Lenny down already in the meantime. Some of the people going to be going up to his A here. But Lexi, okay. Mind Freak gets another one in the meantime, but it's a 4 versus 3 situation.
Now it's a scramble to try and defend this A site. Still, the spike intercepted Benkai at range. It's actually gone up onto the high ground as well, directly in front of, of the Rays. Still, Jin can't defend that for long. Devi wants the penetration through the boxes with the headhunter. And Forsaken moves forward straight into the crosshairs of First Love, who's got no HP remaining. The fault line's going to be a miss. A right click on Benkai would do it. Oh, here we go. It's weird to place those stars. Oh, they actually grab one of themselves. But there it is. It only takes 3 right clicks from First Love, but it eventually gets done. That was a bit of a mess.
It was messy. He was at 4 HP. And I like the discipline that he never peeked out, even though he got sucked in by his own gravity well, right? Because it forces Benkai to look literally at 3 places. You got main, you got drop, and you could even potentially coming on from their link, right? So that way, he never knew where he was, and then suddenly he overextended himself, just gets 3 right clicks. You don't even need to aim, just miss, then the last shots will land onto him. And Bleed. 9-4, guys, and Paper Rex are not buying this round.
Forsaken sits by the dish. Don't worry, guys. I've got a signature dish. I'm about to cook up some griefing.
Well, we see a dish here, but the washer is not available just yet because it's only second round into the post pistol.
Wait, they've identified Forsaken and he's slowed. Oh, it's all gone wrong.
That was great though, because no one's close to him as well, so he can't exactly shorty them. But yup, Lexi is gonna run in right now. They tried to make some shorty plays and Davai last man standing. I'm so sorry, he is no more standing. Guys, Bleed is 10-4 against Paper Rex's own map. I'm gonna say this over and over again, but what are we seeing here? Yoru, viable, question mark.
Bleed certainly, we're doing some good fragging at the moment. Darion, 6 kills to 9 deaths for Yoru. That's nice.
Cutting through.
Yikes, nice. Had 2 more guys. Like they need to do this. They're not just having fun, but they may just look to take a map from Paper Rex. Unbelievable.
Remember that there is a fair amount of money on the line.
I have the.
That's right.
For this tournament. Over a 20k USD prize pool. I'm sure that you have a better idea of what it is in local currency.
It is a lot in the MYSG regions here for sure. So you're not winning this just for bragging rights. Both of these teams are qualified, it's just they're fighting for the seedings in the APAC playoffs. First contact, Mind Freak here. There's a couple of Darion there. Darion catches the wrong way, but he still flicks just in time before losing his life. And now, I look from Fall, relegating into A most likely, while the rest of Paper Rex need to struggle in for the defense while Lexi's lying in wait.
Lexi lines up, but that's some lovely movement there from Forsaken. Just ducks out of the way, doubles back and takes down Lexi. Forsaken on the other side, eats a slow orb and then eats more bullets. Get him, slow orb, sends flaring forward, and Lene is a full stop as Bleed hit 11.
Is this a big brain play from Paper Rex? Thinking that we're just gonna lose game 2, alright? And then we'll bring it to a 3-1 or a 3-2 all the way at the end there, just to give Bleed a sliver of hope and then crush it. I'm sorry. I'm weighing all possibilities here.
I mean, Paper Rex here. To be fair, before this, I know this is like hypercopium, but I did say that Paper Rex risks giving away a bunch of their strats for anyone who might be VOD farming for APAC. I don't know if these count as a proper strats right here. Forsaken's playing the same game they played in the pistol rounds, where they tried to pinch in on Lena, and it worked last time. But Jing with the double! 2 shots, 2 heads. Jing slaughters the opposition. Eco? What eco?
Yeah. Now they've got guns, 2 guns for themselves as well, and Lenny's down for the count. Okay. Well,
11 is all they get, Zeno.
Really, this is starting to look really bad for Bleed. Imagine we call this. Yup, Darion's coming up here. He can't find the heads, but he will find the Vi at least. And it's finally been taken up by the Aftershock here. If First Love is the only one left alive, he can try to isolate these kills, but he's on 60 HP. Look across between Mind Freak and Forsaken. I think they knew.
Darion tanks these.
He does.
Leaving would be incredibly risky, as that would have become a one-way smoke. As it dissipates, First Love risks it, and Mind Freak gets the perfect body shot, a thrifty round, and that was all off the back of Jing getting a pair of headshots from the Sheriff. Mwah, bellissimo.
Yeah, we wish we got the first-hand view of what happened there. Those were 2 crispy shots as well. But I want to echo off like what you just mentioned about them looking into possibly the only fracture play for bot review in NYSG, and they find a Yoru here. No, I'm serious, because when you want to try to strat it out and you see a Yoru, how do you factor that into an equation, right?
What do we do about this? Is this real? It's just fake?
And it's Paper Rex. But still,
That's a good spot.
we can talk about that later. But undeniable that Bleed is 1 point away from match point here.
Works.
It's still pretty far though, because they are going up against Paper Rex after all.
Who's next?
Paper Rex not going to make it easy.
Darion scouting for now. Devi actually backs on out of this. Everybody may well get stunned by the Rolling Thunder, but puts themselves into cover. They've got to worry about the backhand as well from
Darion.
Ah, yes, for Selfblind, the master of Yoru has arrived. Forsaken, master of the operator here, puts Flaring in the grave. No resurrections this time, but Darion remains undiscovered on the site for now. The spike is so far back that it needs to be picked up, but it's being camped at the moment. And now Jing moves forward with the bazooka in hand. That's almost a double. First Love escaped, but Lene did not. And First Love isn't ready for the second round of explosive ordnance. And now Darion, the 1 versus 4 with the Yoru is simply impossible.
Not just that, the pain shells as well. I don't think he knew he was there, but Jing was hot for that round. Oh, Mindfreak's leading the charge. 19, 11, and 3. Well, the rest of the members are sort of playing catch up with him. No problem at all. But Bleed is looking strong. I'm actually rooting for them to take map number 2. Not just because of the scoreline, but to try to give them a fighting chance in this best of 5 series. As you guys already know, Paper X already took game 1 for Haven here. If Bleeds take this, I'm more than ecstatic. But if Paper X makes a comeback for this, at least Bleed just had fun, right?
Forsaken, beautiful tracking there. Puts a shot straight into Lexi's sternum, even after the speedy engagement. Lene and Devi both have those Tour de Force available. One of them has been activated. I believe that it is Lene's, as they are playing with the Tour de Force and the Classic as well. Jing clearing out through the halls of A, as Bleed have to reconsider their options.
That's right. First contact, now 1 Bleed down already.
Here.
Suddenly the firepower is just dwindled. But that doesn't mean the round's just over just yet though. Seeing how they split up so far apart. Oh, we got a random flaring that's going for a big flank up to the dish side. But time is not exactly of essence for them. They need to make a quick decision. Here we go. Through the ropes, pretty slow. Oh, we got a chamber and flaring. Watching flanks. They're opting for an A side here. A hit real quick.
Slowly coalescing over this way, but Mindfreak has slowed this down with the expenditure of a poison fuel on this poison orb. Drops for a moment. And now Darion. Can they make an entry work? Without Lexi, this becomes a touch more complicated. Darion tries to do it without any abilities. It's Jing who just gets kill after kill before Flaring puts them down. First Love turns on their axes, and like a spinning top, they can grab only 1. And before Forsaken puts them down, Paper X hits 7.
Here.
The comeback begins, guys. You can't really run too far with it. Look at how Jing held it down. It looked like a wall bang there, but I guess the finishing shot wasn't a wall bang. So he played it so well, dodged the Tour de Force, I believe. It wasn't an operator, so yeah. He actually played out the timer. The rest of the team just trickled in, cleared them out. So now they are 4 points away from equalizing with Bleed. Bleed's window is slowly closing, but it's not over just yet.
The Stinger Specialist has returned. No, not again! I refuse to allow it to get kills. Lena, stop this! This is nasty.
No, I can't believe it.
Cyberbullying.
How does Lenny get away with this?
Away.
No, I can't believe it. Lenny, somebody put him on a leash. But yep.
Lena has got an upgrade here. Passes off the Phantom to First Love. Is Lena going to go back and pick up their Stinger now? No. Stop it, you bloody troll. Yeah, they've just inched their way over. Finally, my precious has returned.
That's right. Wait, off camera.
And even with the Headhunter, they get Jing as well. Alert here could be activated from Flaring. Ideally, they want to meet up with Lena, who didn't have much health to work with, but hey, doesn't matter how much health you have when Forsaken levels an operator at you. 2 members of Bleed remain. I did jokingly say a while ago that 11 is all they get, but Paper X seemed to potentially agree with this, as on the defense, they've started hitting a couple more shots.
I'm starting to agree with his sentiment, Lake Day, as we see Forsaken whiffing a very important shot, but now he knows he's there. But the number is still 3 versus 2. They had the man advantage, and now they just lost it completely. Flaring is forced to wall it in order to make a trip into tower to even get on site. With 15 seconds left on the clock now. Time is ticking, and First Love is down. They know where the last person is. But since the spike is with them, they don't even need to peek this. Yep, they know
Flaring
he's
might
there.
want to die here as well. Only with a sheriff in hand. Might be better to try and look for some kills for Spike so far away, looking for these taps. Forsaken decides, you know what, I'll allow them to live, but Flaring does get the reward for continuing to live of picking up a Vandal, which is a little economic boon here for Bleed.
That's right. Like,
Here.
he said he had to die, but he's got an upgrade. So this will traverse right now to the next round here. This is Bleed's final round to cope up with this, right? Because if Paper X takes even 2 more up to 11-10, they know they're going to be in trouble because Paper X has adapted really well. They got a good read onto Bleed. Bleed is not exactly just running haywire and making mayhem too. As you can see now, Paper X is forcing Bleed to play really conservatively. And now, see here, Devi, he's got the big gun and Lenny's the one taken out too. He tags Devi down for a little bit and is forced to probably back off the rest of Bleed. Okay, they smoked out there, but there's no one making any fancy plays here. Here we go, there's a fake out. I'm not really doing much. All right, Lenny with one for himself there. Benkai is gonna try to see if he can get shit done. But still, no one else is speaking except Flaring. Flaring's got balls of steel, and they are looking to try to get this side. The rest of them, so much respect. They can't exactly push in just yet. It is so slow.
Think about the confidence that Devi has here as well. Never mind. We'll talk about that one later. Flaring has made some deep inroads, takes out Jing. But how are you going to get into this Viper's pit? Mindfreak's actually playing a little bit far away. But while they were potentially exposed to taking a gunfight, they will not win against Flaring. And now Mindfreak can go back into the Viper's pit. Actually allows for it to drop. Still 4 members of Bleed here, so this is very doable. We're actually going over to B, where Forsaken lies in wait. Will it be a naked peek? It will indeed be, and Lene loses the duel against the opposing sniper once again. The first time, it was Devi. The second time, it was Forsaken. There will at least be a plant here on A, as there's no real means to stop this one from happening. Question is, how well can Lexi gatekeep this approach? Fault line is solid. That may well have stunned Lexi, who for now just watches over towards the ropes. Darion sends out their gate crash so they can get away in a pinch. A swing ready to happen. Benkai's going to be the first one to take contact here. The first fight taken. Darion does not leave Lexi from far away. Benkai is low. But can Benkai win the gunfight? Gets a tap on Lexi, brings him down incredibly low. And now a tap on the spike makes Lexi start to panic. Their heart begins to beat, but they stop Benkai's as it pounds away. Match point achieved for Bleed.
That's Lexi at 2 HP. I would thought Benkai would have done it. But Bleed keeps it alive. Guys, it's match point on Fracture. I mean, the window is really closing for Paper X on this one. There's no bandwagon hopping here, guys. It's undeniable that Bleed has brought some really interesting gameplay to us here today. So no matter what the outcome here, this is one for the books. First Fracture of MYSG, and Bleed is doing it in a very, very interesting fashion.
Forsaken, certainly feeling like the premier AWPer in the lobby at the moment. The operator getting so much value in their hands, but of course, in the hands of a Jet, you do come to expect this. And there it is again. One duelist taken down. Lexi no longer going to be able to clear those areas. The tight little cubbies with both the grenades and the boombot. And that might make this a touch more difficult. The second op in the hands of Devi has found Flaring. Paper X. They are ironclad on their defenses, staring down these avenues. Sure, they can attack from 4 directions, but we've got 5 players, so everything can be covered perfectly. Forsaken knows exactly where Flaring is. So it's an easy movement upwards, an easy execution. Lene falls to Jing, and that's a flawless round from Paper Rex.
Oh my god. Yep. A flawless after like a really close round from Bleed. And this is forcing them into the eco. Oh no. Bleed's gotta try to do their best here. Of course, it's gonna be a save. They're gonna try the best they can to get as many frags possible. But only 2 more rounds before it goes into overtime. They don't want to drag this to overtime, it's the thing, right? So, memes aside, like, Bleed is playing this very well. Don't you agree?
You want to play?
I think Bleed is playing this very well. would like to see what they would do with a Viper, considering how well they play Bind with that double controller. Devi takes their shot and then backs out. It's interesting to see how these players are so rarely exposed to Yoru at the highest ranks of Radiant in the comp scene, and of course in their scrims as well. But the mechanics of the Yoru flash mean that people are rarely turning away from them as much as you see like the turnaways from guiding lights or the flashpoints. Oh, they could camp the TP here. I don't think they know the TP is there though. We just have the X-ray. Lucky us, you know.
We've got vision, as so some of production would say. But that also doesn't mean that they can't wait for audio cues. But here, oh no, here we go. Both operators gonna miss, and they are gonna be notified. Some people up there come in, but Jing will kick it off. Oh my god, the movements are so good, but diffed out there by Durion. Remember, they are on eco, so getting frags, any form of frags here is very good for Bleed.
30 seconds left.
And every kill means another looted weapon as well. Never mind, everyone had the Vandal in hand, but Devi's like, no, put that down, mate. That belongs to my buddy. Almost a collateral there. But Mind Freak is going to finish off the next one. Lexi falls on down. Double digits for Paper Rex as they inch ever closer towards overtime.
Possible. I mean, I'm not denying the possibility here, though. But if you imagine if it goes into overtime, guys, remember this is a best of 5 series. So getting an early overtime here, especially this is only game 2, might prove pretty taxing for, you know, all these players, both Paper Rex and Bleed alike. But I kind of just want to see them close this out real quick. But of course, on the side of Paper Rex, if they can pull such a massive comeback here, I'm all for that as well. Here we go. Forsaken up. I don't even think that reaches. I think it does, but he actually made a mistake.
I think the Skybox may well have given him a quick bonk there. Lexi elsewhere have fallen. And Benkai, oh, not your usual operator player. But that's okay, swaps out now to the Vandal, so much as the economic surplus of Paper Rex. But some frivolous investments have been made. You can see that Mind Freak still has 8.8k to work with. Meanwhile, Bleed, they are on a buy, but just about. If they lose this, it will not be another one that is available. Forsaken wants to try and follow in after Lena. Every single knife is thrown into a Frenchman's body. Flaring closer when it comes to that Vandal. A stun given on over. Out goes a flashing ball. It can't be avoided. A lovely blind that First Love picks up afterwards. And while Jing was blinded, sure, they did get one. But Bleed in a 2 versus 2, it's winnable. Darion was looking in the wrong direction. They had no idea that Mind Freak was coming. Now it's all about the 1 versus 1. First Love, could it be a 4K to finish it? No! Benkai keeps us going forward.
We are most likely to see an overtime here, ladies and gents. Wow, that was Bleed's win. That has to be Bleed's win here, but you got to feel for them right now. They whiffed that shot, so which means that they got to brace themselves into a possible overtime because they don't have enough creds for proper armory. Oh gosh.
This is going to be a toughie. So now it's Ramshackle buys. There's no point in saving anything, boys and girls. First Love going to have to buy themselves a rifle. They are going to be able to level up at least a little bit in terms of the guns. So it's still doable for Bleed. And we could go 1-to-1, Xena.
Exactly. Overtime. Is it the first overtime today? Here we go. Forsaken. Okay, he makes himself known that he is there. And there are a lot of people trying to wallbang him as he repositions. Can he get one more shot? He sees Lexi flying in here already. He knows what is there. The dash is already used. And Forsaken is down for the count, but not before losing Darion in the process. The rest of them are still chilling at around dish. Not really going in just yet. But it's a 4 versus 4 leg day.
There's a world where Flaring here can make a long rotation to actually res up Darion. Because, hey, it's not like you can save the ults after this round, and the resurrection's ready to go.
Oh, but that's hella far. Not only he has to get on site, but he has to get all the way to a pretty much home area.
The ropes are fairly easily campable as well.
That's right.
So he may decide to use for resurrection later. Jing has noted an offensive star that is in place. That would obfuscate the movement over into the tunnel. Jing can't get up on top of where they want. And Lena moves on forward. But for new entry of the chamber, multiple people head up towards the top. And Jing backs off now, noting that this is likely going to be a plant. A 4 versus 4. Very doable for Bleed to take this round here. Lots of damage done to Lena. They were pinned in by the paint shell, pinned in as well by the aftershock. Lena has nowhere to go, so Benkai claims this. There's the Rolling Thunder. Multiple members concussed, and so Paper Rex roll on in. Their pack hunters like Velociraptors. Mind Freak unable to get the pair. But now, what can First Love do from the other side? Lexi is returned. Devi is already defusing, trying to hold it down. Jing slays everyone in their path. Welcome to overtime on Fracture.
Absolutely. Fracture map in MYSG, Yoru pick, and it's going to overtime. We are blessed here, guys. Could be anyone's game still. The comeback from Paper Rex. Was it like a 10-4, 10-5? And now it's a 12-12. And what a way to preserve the momentum. Calling a timeout for themselves, discussing on possibilities, while denying whatever lead that Bleed may have been trying to get for themselves here.
This now remains anybody's game, but we've got to admit that Paper Rex have got a lot more momentum coming into this. Bleed were at 11 to, I believe, 4 or 5 for a long time. But Paper Rex on their defense have been incredibly positioned. Unfortunately for Lena, I'm not sure where their TPs were, but they might well have been set up near Dish. Either way, they were out of range, they could not be used, and so after the aftershock came in, they simply had to make a choice. Do I run and die to the rifles, or do I stand here and die to the aftershock? And unfortunately, both of those ended the same way.
Unfortunate circumstance there too. I fully agree. And he was the only one on site. He just B-hopped on site too, get the plant in. You get stunned because that was default, and then the rest of Paper X members just trickled in. I still got hope though for Bleed, but Paper X still feeling really good about this. And the reason I'm putting emphasis on Bleed is, come on guys, we know Paper X are Titans, NYSG. Gotta give every other team a fighting chance. But a lot of these Paper X supporters out there as well. Do you guys really have doubts though for Paper X taking this? One might find out.
Once again on the defensive Bleed, Paper Rex, they got a lot more mileage on their own defensive side. Maybe Fracture, as it does evolve in this scene, will become a little bit more of a defensive powerhouse despite... Oh, Lexi's been noted. Jing's got the information, the trademark taken down. I'm not sure if Lexi's actually been given the information here. And Lexi, because they were noted, Benkai was waiting, pre-aiming that. Jing, look how fast they got up into the high ground. Beautiful locomotion off the back of the blast packs. Means that everyone is alive. As the B site is reached, the duelists are getting their mess all done. And Lena falls as well. Darion here is going to need an absolute lights out performance with the operator to make this work. Devi, stunned, tucks in. It's the Stinger in overtime, the Stinger? What?
I don't know what's going on, but he scored himself a gun. But is that really important though? I don't really know. But the Devi's gonna say hi to Flaring, which makes short work of him. 2 versus 3 situation here. It's a retake, guys. Looking likely to happen. They need 5 seconds to decide what they want to do here. And through the smoke, Jing gets out Dario in the meantime. 2 versus 2. The timer is gonna tick down. They have to peek through towers there. And Flaring with one more. He needs to secure this. He gets the peek, and they will. Well, they will get this, and yes, they do.
With less than a second remaining, Xeno, I think First Love actually bought both a Judge and a Stinger heading into that one. That's a weird one, but you know what? I dig it. Bleed, bringing out the wacky strats, but they've served them well. Now on that point, once again, they want to take this best of 5 the entire distance after being embarrassed. Over on Haven, 13-2, their own Mac pick, Bleed, have decided, you know what? We aren't going to be lying down and taking this quietly. We're going to take it with the roar of a Yoru Flash.
Love it though. Hall, they kind of had the right idea here. Everyone is playing up here as well. Dava is waiting to see any aggressive push. There are some operators, but both whiffing their shots. And now coming here though, up there. Benkai is forced to push out for sure. Davai pushing in with the second shot though. The boom bot says hi to him, but Mindfield to take out Lexi in the meantime. He's been dying first way too many times. And Flaring down for the count. Davai is gonna say hi to Lenny as well. It's gonna be a 5 versus 2. in this first overtime series. Paper X looking strong for this one. And the spike somewhere still around on A with Durion. He takes out Minefield. What are these operators going on right here? Seems to be the gun of choice. Good preference, I feel. But look at that. The jump in from Darion. Forsaken lands that shot. Inhuman reaction. And now First Love is going in on site on his own, potentially being crossed by 4 members of Paper Rex.
No armor, no worries. First Love has got Forsaken so low. The attempt at a stun as you come out to try to fight. First Love wants to meet you in the middle and clash with your metal, but Benkai simply hits the headshot first, and we are reset into double overtime.
Oh gosh. What? Any lead that Bleed has, you have to ride off it the best you can, right? Because it's hard to get rounds against Paper Rex. So now, especially with that one, Paper X winning that in a dominant fashion, Bleed has just got to repeat. But we don't know if success could be repeated again. Not especially after that really intense retake up on B towers, right? So it has to be almost flawless for this one.
The good news is, in overtime, you don't have to worry about the ecos. You can just play it to the last man. There's always going to be 5k credits waiting for you in the next round. Seems like this is a interestingly aggressive position here from Darion. On the op here. Seeing if someone went into the underground. But it seems like everyone else is massed up in A-halls. And caution has been advised. First Love. They have taken out Forsaken previously in this position, knowing that they like to updraft dash their way onto the high ground.
A lot of information plays being made at left and right, though, even though it's mostly in A halls. But it's enough to force themselves back, whereas the rest of Bleed still being disciplined, not exactly leaving too far from A just yet.
Oh, Lexi lying in wait here on a weird verticality. Easy for one, the second less so. Out goes Boom while Forsaken moves on forward. That's another for Lexi. You said that they died too often on the first. Jing actually has to use their blast back there to avoid the paint shell that was dropped at the feet of Lexi.
Here.
And now 3 versus 3. First Love lies in wait.
Here.
The operator versus the judge at this angle is not ideal. Damage done to Divine. Flaring Lena finish this. Jing in a 1 versus 2. Slow down. It's a labored spray, but Flaring still grants the dub, and Bleed once again are going to hit their map point.
Match point.
Oh, that's so good. Paper X, gotta keep it up here if you want to start to close this and bring it to a 2-0. After all, you did win game number 1 on Haven. So, if you're on Paper X, are you worried? But if you're on Bleed,
Need a drop.
how aesthetic are you feeling? That's the big question.
This is a feel-good map. Even if you lose this, I think, on Bleed, you're going into map number 3 with a song in your heart, a spring in your step. Paper X, though, they have been ironclad on their defense. This is going to be all about which team can win an offensive round first, you know.
That's correct. Lexi's just gotta stay alive first, straight up. Oh gosh. Look at this standoff here. Operator versus operator. Not really convincing to peek just yet for both sides, but he just might just say hello to the crosshair and through the walls, through the box. He got the Vi as first contact.
Taker's advantage. And now Bleed have the numbers, or at least they had the numbers that they needed. Lena taken down by Jing, 4-4, all's fair. In Love and War now when it comes to the numbers. Forsaken looking to see if that door would open. The door is opened by their own cloudburst, and so Forsaken takes a quick shot. But they're unable to adjust onto Lexi in time. Who decides to try and close the distance here, close the gap. Benkai worried. Movement made. Jing lies in wait, but Benkai's good on the coverage.
30 seconds left.
And now Bleed have to play this undermanned. A wall here to try and grant safe passage. Mind Freak goes up top. That's the spike hitting the ground. 2 more players noted. Jing is around the back. Could it be the double? You bet that it will. Carves through Bleed.
It's so good for them.
Switching
They had,
sides.
oh god,
Overtime.
Bleed had the man advantage and they just trickled in
There.
and they just lost to pure peaks
Caution
from
here.
Paper Rex. I don't understand. They allowed Jing to even make the big wraparound. I just think they couldn't execute on site as effective as they would think. I think if they really had the Viper, it could have all been different.
There.
But that's all water under the bridge here. Yeah, 27 kills onto Flaring and Mind Freak, by the way. Hitting almost a big 3-0 in the third overtime here, guys.
This definitely feels like first team to win an attacking round will be the one that wins the map. Despite earlier pretenses given,
Go get him.
it does seem like at the moment Fracture's feeling kind of defensively sided.
Seems to be. At least that's what we can take away from this only Fracture game in MYSJ.
Concealment. Night, night.
A dirty spray from Forsaken, turning around now, not caught by a timing. This could be Paper Rex finally succeeding on an attacking round. There's the bounce on the flash. Darion unable to really follow it up by themselves. Jing is ducked under. Lene joins the symphony of frags as both of the duelists have been taken. But that's all water under the bridge now because Xeno, they've already got on the site. They've already got their plant. Now it's all about the post-plant utility. You've got to think about the snake
enemy
bites. Think
remaining.
about the aftershocks. First Love gets a pair. And now only Mind Freak remains. The defuse should be easy as 3 rifles are leveled at Mind Freak. Surely they can't do the 1 versus 3. It's simply impossible. Lexi denies it, and that's going to be another round over to Bleed.
It was so close, and Bleed always taking round number 1, but always dropping the
Switching
second
sides.
one to Paper Rex.
Match point.
Is third time gonna be the charm here, Lake Day? They can't keep this going on for too long, I feel.
This is this is all about who wins that offensive round. How do you make that happen? What is the main win condition you need? Obviously, you need that first pick, and that's happened before.
Yep.
But when it did happen for Bleed and they got that first pick, elsewhere, Lena was caught out by Forsaken in the op versus op on the
Correct.
lurk.
And it's
I wonder
hard too.
how much value is real. Oh no! Forsaken wins that. How unbelievable! Darion with the miss and Forsaken with the quick scope and flick. Godly behaviors.
Widest of peaks as well. These are double operators onto Paper Rex. You can't just keep running into operators. That's what they've always been doing. They always struggle trying to break in here, Lenny. Okay. Takes out Davai, caught him unsuspecting. And that was a phantom headshot too. So since the wall is up here, the odds are evened out, right? 4 versus 4, but there's also 2 operators right now on Lenny. Lenny decided to swap it out to a phantom. Hasn't really fully committed in here just yet. They're still trying to clear on site. Mind Freak playing hard right if they want to check that. Nothing else so far here as they might look to rotate. Yep, they're probably going to go to B here. And Jing is already set up in position to catch anyone coming from arcade.
Let's play.
Can't see just yet.
Tour de force used by Lena, who's already managed to earn it in this overtime round. Claiming multiple ultimate orbs. And First Love taken down by Jing. That's going to make this post plant much harder. Flaring
30 seconds
goes for the plant. May well have to stop this because of the paint shells. They're sent elsewhere. They try to dance around, but Jing, as you dance, as you sidestep, as you try to find the movement, that's when Jing is poised to strike. Lexi here needs to win multiple duels, but it's simply impossible. The showstopper earned, the showstopper sent. And now only Lena remains pinned in on all sides like a caged animal. You can roar as loud as you want, young Lionel, but no one will hear you.
Man, they put him back in the chamber where he belonged.
Overtime.
Like literally, third overtime, not the charm. So we are on 4th one now, guys. Jesus, how long can this go on? As they may ask. What's not really working out? Like the reason why there's so little info to play out from Fracture is because we don't even see it enough here. So they seem to be just comfortable usually taking shots up at A, going in on side, but now maybe it's going to be a big B hit, but you're susceptible to towers and from main side itself if you're going to push through arcade. So now the wall comes up, they know where they are. They could take the underpass if they really wanted, but you have to come back onto Forsaken and take this. Darion is actually knocked down pretty low, but he will get healed up out of nowhere.
An attempt to clear up top here. Multiple players going to head into there. Look how much damage they've taken. I think that was from the paint shells. The adjustment from Darion's not good enough. Mind Freak hits the headshot and doesn't suffer from damage drop off themselves. This could be Paper Rex winning a round on their attack. This was the crucial power spike that we were all thinking about. It's just a single bullet that puts Jing down for the count. 4 versus 3 now in the retake, and Forsaken is unfortunately low.
Unfortunately,
Who can
Lion is
save us?
correct. That's right there. Well, Lenny comes in hot. There's Davai down already, so it's 2 versus 3. But Forsaken is so low, but don't sleep on him just yet there. Flaring. That's what I was saying. Don't sleep on him. He's gotten 2 for himself already. Forsaken is so low. They're about to trickle in on side. And a beautiful flick from him. And right now, it seems that Paper's heads around. They know that he's on towers. And through the smoke, Lenny gets the kill. You say Paper Rex got the attack. I think Bleach just got it stronger.
Unbelievable gunfights, all going the way of Bleed, winning another defensive round when Paper Rex had every right to win that. 5 versus 3.
Match point.
Darion lost the opening duel, but somehow the wraparounds onto those who were trying to defend the main approach to B meant that Benko was easy clapped to be executed, and the territory control from Paper Rex simply began to fall apart. They weren't playing off each other in terms of crossfires. They were simply looking for 1 versus 1 duels on different angles, it seemed.
Yeah. It'll be rare to see this too, because usually Paper Rex will get every angle covered too, but it's Fracture, right? There's way too many crevices, way too many doors and boxes to jump up from. I don't know. It's just good to see Bleed take that, but Paper Rex, they're starting to feel the fatigue for sure. After losing a winnable round like that, they need to close this out as fast as possible.
Some of the first action we've seen over on Dish at the moment in overtime. It's been quite popular thus far. The trademark will spot the approach here of Lexi, and it will be taken out. The question is now, how fast you want to execute off the back of this. Still both your Sentinels are lurking, but one has been slain by Forsaken.
Is he really truly a Sentinel? He's been doing work for his team. A Sage is a duelist, as some might know. Still, 4 versus 3, now in favor for Paper Rex again. In this 4th, I think 5th overtime now. I probably lost count. But holy damn, that's a drop here. Davai looking up. He knows a couple there, almost a collab. And that's Lexi down 2. Very, very big impact frag onto Bleed Esports is down right now.
30 seconds left.
Davai, it's all about these operators. Double ops, no armor, no problems. Darion has to back out to get their health back, but they aren't going to be getting any armor. Davai on the 3rd. The sole Malaysian representative in the grand finals has made their will known. First Love can't do the 1 versus 5, and so equaled again we are.
Switching sides.
What's going on here?
Time.
Like come on. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are on the 7th. No, 6. We are on the, is it? Because 12 is the 1st. 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
I think this
5th.
is the 4th refresh of overtime, maybe 5th.
It is the 5th refresh, because the first refresh is 12. Yeah, this is, we can't math, guys. It's too late here. 12 first, 2nd, 3rd,
Here.
4th, 5th. 5th is when both hit 16, 16. 6, yeah? I can't count, guys. I'm sorry. Cannot math today.
Someone win on the attack.
Yeah, and they call it for a day.
Oh my goodness. Darion stops it with the classic. Simply built different. Mind Freak here, vulnerable. The Benkais tuck themselves into the corner. In a 3 versus 2, many of Bleed just fell in a storm. It feels like the tundra, the Paper Rex winter, has finally arrived here on the attacking side. Still, we've seen Bleed come back from greater odds, and Benkai's had to hide away from how low they are. Jin can't afford to catch a headshot as Mind Freak coming around the other side. The post-plant utility from beside the Paper Rex remains strong as First Love will tap upon the spike. Doesn't avoid the concussion, and that's Jing's moment to come out. There's an attack round 1, and now Bleed, they are in the hot seat.
There we go, finally. Paper Rex feeling good about themselves after 5. Yes, I did the math. It's 5 overtimes, and they're about to make this work. Has Bleed finally run out of steam here? I don't exactly know. They need to hold this down. Well, after a post plant, if they can even get on site to begin with. Double operators. on Paper Rex's side as well. It just feels bad to lose one of your members that quickly, so they need to make this execution as flawless as possible without losing too many of your members here. But it's going to be a fast B hit most likely. Jing is the only one on site so far. It's going to be joined in by Benkai with the rest of his team. But they're about to trickle in here. There's the shot I was talking about. And Lexi's trying to open up the site once again. He's the sacrificial lamb for his team. And not just that, they aren't exactly inside just yet. They'll be smoked out though. They know Durian is up down there. And Forsaken with another massive kill. Jing peeks out with the right timing. He's up on 21. And all of a sudden it's 5 versus 2. They know one's up there in the little cubby area. And First Love is sort of trapped there.
Enemy remaining.
We've been waiting for 17 years, but eventually the Paper Rex shall roar again. Their time caught in the loop of overtime has ended. And Manzino, that took a while. But I think now going forward, we know that Fracture pretty defensively sided here in NYSG.
It seems like that way. Not just defending, but is it retake? That's the big question. We need to find out more stats. Hopefully more of these players pick up Fracture in the NYSG region. But that's it as well. It's been such a long time coming, man. I really thought Bleed had a fighting chance for this, and they would have, right? It's just that Paper Rex with their undeniable experience and their gameplay level, it just really shows how they can endure all these massive overtimes, and Bleed just finally showing signs of cracks finally broke apart.
One of the longer maps we've seen, which means that there's plenty of highlights to go through in just a little bit. It's going to be a lot of op shots, I think. Operators definitely have been the flavor of the day here on Fracture, both Devi and Forsaken. It's been such an interesting development in the methods of Valorant to have a Sentinel now who can effectively play the Operator with their escapability.
Exactly. I think I kind of foresee something like this. I was looking for a Sentinel with some sort of movement ability, right? Not maybe just teleporting, but they blessed us with a chamber, which has been paying dividends for a lot of these players. A lot of players starting to fight in their gameplay that really suited the chamber, me being one of them. And now here in Fracture, it shows how good it is with its instant teleports, with like such a wide map. You need those trademarks to spot out flanks. It's just like a better killjoy in a sense. So both of these teams really showing up.
One is left.
And Jing was definitely a real standout here. Of course, Devi on the chamber. No one can underestimate how many frags they brought to the forefront, but I really feel like Jing has shown how much value a Raze can gain. And, well, with Split and Bind gone, we aren't going to see a huge amount of Raze, but it's unlikely we see it on Ascent, Breeze, or Icebox. So I'm glad that Jing managed to show it off here on Fracture. And of course, in their time, get MVP as well.
31, guys. 270 combat score. Nothing to be scoffed at, but Flaring was also 1 kill away from that 3-0. Really could have been anyone's game, guys. You cannot discount any of these teams here in this grand finals. After all, you know how much it takes to be up here, and you know how much extra effort it takes to even go into overtime with Paper Rex. But the rules are the rules here, and what the rules say, the first to hit 3-0, the first team to hit 3 in this grand finals will be the victor. Here we go though, MVP. Is it really MVP though? Nah, they're just showing up 2 players, the difference with their ACS. That's Flaring and Jing, 2-7, and the starting kills, oh my god. This is stat farming at this point of time, like they.
14.7% first blood percentage, not bad for a Raze, where sometimes you aren't going to be the one looking for those initial engagements. It's more often going to be your operator wielders like the Chamber and like the Jet. And over on the side of Bleed, there was some fun to be had. Flaring moved away from their usual controller mantle to pick up the Sage instead, and we managed to see a couple of resurrections off the back of that as well. Lexi usually playing one of the less entry-intensive heroes, or one of the less entry-intensive agents to be able to IGL from the back. Usually they play either the Viper or the Breach, and this time picking up the Raze, which was a welcome change, because Lexi, I don't think they were really a liability on that agent.
Not really though, showing that how it's really done here. At least they won. They won their map pick for sure. Okay, so now we know, guys, the next map, if you were here for the map vetoes, it is going to be Ascent. And that is going to be Bleed's map. Guys, Bleed is actually bleeding out right now. It's 2-0, guys. Can we make a potential comeback maybe? I don't know. Leg day. Here, is it gonna... It looks like it's gonna be a fast one. But Device said that Bleed is gonna be the one that gives them the bigger fighting chance. And it's shown here on Fracture. I have nothing to expect onto Ascent except more bloodshed.
After that long a Fracture, definitely I feel like Bleed are going into map number 3 with a song in their heart and a spring in their step. Perhaps we will see a return towards normalcy here at the Valorant Challengers Stage 1 for Malaysia and Singapore, but we'll only be able to find out after this break.
Everybody feel it, come around with round.
Aggressive. He's got back off and finds collateral. Late storm. Just he whipped it. What's it got it? This is going to be last HP. Oh boy.
Oh my lord!
Lead players, Lexi on his, I think one of his first times on KO in an official tournament.
no.
Not even need a Darian with the Marshall. He goes in for the musket plays.
There may only be one map left here at Valorant Challenges Malaysia Singapore Stage 1 because currently our presumptive kings, Paper Rex, sit 2-0 after a shell shock of a hit onto Bleed on Haven and a very much protracted Xeno fracture.
Oh gosh, well, not only we've seen that, we've seen Yoru, we've seen overtime, everything just happened there. And we've seen Stinger in the overtime as well. Not sure what transpired there, but Bleed definitely threw Paper in there for a loop, which they almost, I mean, they definitely caught Paper X off by surprise, but they still managed to close it out in the end. Bleed, everything's running down for them. I mean, they've already qualified for Apex. This is just, of course, seeding and, of course, some prize money up here in the upper bracket grand finals.
I saw the owner of Bleed talking about how they're kind of laughing it off during the breaks. I don't think they're overly worried about how this series is going for them at the moment.
Yeah.
A map would be nice. It would be a good sort of pick-me-up to make you feel like one of our top-tier competitors heading into APAC, of course. With APAC being a regional mix, there's going to be speculation from all across Asia as to which region's teams are going to be some of the most powerful and, so, of course, some tier lists.
Exactly. Well, not Bleed exactly usurping the throne that Paper Rex is on right now, but giving Paper Rex a run for their money is already a good testament in itself. After all, like how many teams can you say can go up to Paper Rex in grand finals? And right, Bleed already crawled out from the lowest brackets, which remember, it's psychologically taxing, especially if you get knocked down early on and suddenly climb all the way back up. So Bleed, they've got the heart, they've got the players, and if they're having fun in these finals, I think that's all that really matters.
Yeah, yesterday, Bleed had to fight for their life 3 times in a row as they were in round 1 of the losers bracket. I think they had to take out No Man, then Moon, and then after that, they had to go up against Huat Zai to see who was going to be making it to the APAC play-ins or the APAC group stages. And, well, the group stage / play-in differential was having to be decided in the losers finals, where it was No Namers going up against Bleed. And coming in today, we thought, you know what, Bleed might be able to stand a chance against Paper Rex. They did really well against No Namers, who had not dropped a map to any team except Paper Rex coming into today. But Haven was a different story.
That was a 13-2, guys. A big humiliation for Bleed, but they really came back strong onto Fracture, but just couldn't close it out even after 5 rounds of overtime here. But less on Fracture. We are moving back to normality. Leg Day is going to be Ascent, and that's actually Bleed's map here.
Has been selected by them. This may well be a return to normalcy. But when we go back to normal, will it be a return towards the kind of the expectations that was set over on Haven? This is one of the most scrimmed maps, of course, for every team. One of the favorite maps of a lot of players as well. It's got the least in the way of gimmicks, and it's only really the closing doors that need to be worried about here. A very classical TAC FPS map, and there are lots of different compositions that can work here.
Just love Ascent. It's everyone's, I don't know, it's a comfort. You know, you find comfort within 3 maps. It's either Ascent, it's Split, or it's Haven. All right, you gotta have one of these in your comfort maps. But the reason why I love Split, I love Ascent, is because of the potential strategies you could play with a mid lane. Sometimes mid control can pretty much throw an entire enemy off if you don't know what you're doing, right? So how these teams play these fakes, play these executions. It's just coming down to normality. Like I said, don't you guys know what normality is? You know how you smoke, you know how to get outside. Breach also seen a lot more viability in Ascent all of a sudden. So Paper Rex going with the double duelist picks also most likely. Bleed switches it up sometimes. I don't really have the stats with me here just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if they choose to go with the single duelist lineup.
And this is one of the maps as well where Cypher remains viable. We've already seen Benkai play the Cypher over on Haven, but on Haven, Cypher's overall pick rate has been eroded a little bit with the prevalence of Chamber and how powerful the Tour de Force or a defensive Opper can be on both A and C long when played in conjunction with your Jet. However, on Ascent, it's a little bit less operator focused. Sure, you're usually going to be having your Jet play one of those, but you're rarely going to be seeing a defense but wants to opt in for the double operator. So Chambers not eroding as much of the Cypher pick rate as we have seen elsewhere.
Even though you have to consider between that 2 Sentinels, we're kind of leaving out Killjoy, which also has seen an increased level of picks back in Ascent, right? Because if you, not only you can deny a site, but of course you can cover flanks, which something that, when you think a Cypher can do, suddenly a Killjoy or a Chamber just does it better. As you can see here, there are no Cyphers on anyway, but we are blessed with 2 KOs. Okay.
Interesting here. The Killjoy is going to be a little bit more vulnerable, in my opinion, to the potential neutralization of abilities from these KOs. The dual KO certainly is something that is going to draw attention. A lot of information to be gained here off the back of the 0 point in conjunction with the reconnaissance abilities that Benkai and Lena are going to be bringing to the fore. Benkai, once again, going over to a different kind of agent. He's going on a little bit of a tour today, playing so many different ones.
He's just flexed. He flexes pretty well. And I can't believe I missed out KO. I was talking about Breach, right? But I actually was planning on talking about KO because with these tight angles, and you can't exactly play too close, right? Because all of a sudden, if you're a Chamber, you get knifed, you get suppressed, and you can't TP away. Jet, your knives get disabled instantly, as well as Sova. Your drone is gone, your Hunter's Fury is gone. So for first love side, you already mentioned the Killjoy is probably one of the highest level of possibility being neutralized, but it just depends on how the team can actually get on in there before the knife actually sees good play.
Well, the time for theory crafting may well be coming to a close, as might our event, Zeno. This could be the last map in Valorant Challenges Malaysia Singapore Stage 1 if it is going to be a 3-0 grand finals to Paper Rex. It would be potentially what a lot of people predicted, as Paper Rex will settle in on their defense on Bleed's map pick.
Here we go. Instant push out there. Paper X playing very aggressive as we always expect. And Jing is already pushed out there too. Here we go. Site looking like it to be taken for A. They are already in though so far. Benkai being locked out there by the smoke. And then the flag was being watched there by Alarmobot. And they already know that a couple of them are flagged, but it's going to be two. Lexi, first love right there.
They expect the high and the low. First Love gets a pair, and then Darion's here for the backup. A big flank from Paper Rex, not entirely rewarded right here, but Benkai at least takes out their counterpart. Divine up against two, certainly winnable with the Headhunter. 5 shots in the chamber, more than enough, but there we go. Caught on the peak, noted. Might have to go for... Oh, that lineup was very risky. First level walk away with 4 kills though, and already is starting to make some significant progress towards that lockdown, which will be very important for an execution.
Okay, yep, 4K. Love to see it. And that was very risky, like you said as well. But in the end though, I think taking any round from Paper X is good. And now we see even riskier buys. There's Darion with a Phantom here looking to try to be the one that opens up site and get these close contact picks. So really not trying to give Paper X the chance to even get on site in the first place. Forsaken narrowly dodges that. He whiffs it in the meantime. He doesn't have any armor, but he's just relegating back to Boathouse where he might get a second chance.
Damage done to Lena. That's going to mean that they're soft, tender, squishy, just like Lexi's head. Darion grants revenge here. The Phantom should be able to tear through all of those who do not have armor. But remember, Darion is playing with half shields to afford this. 1, 2, 3. Darion on the ace, maybe? Yes, they take a moment to adjust, but that's all they need. Darion tells Paper Rex, you're in our town now.
He's about to do work, and work he did. Like they paying dividends off with the little Phantom. And okay, since now the rifles are up for Paper X right now, I think Bleed running off this great momentum will carry on this bonus since nobody died, right? And since this is this is Bleed's map, of course, still Paper X could take this. Ascent could be anyone's map, like let's be real, right? So since now
Ascent could be anyone's map, Zeno, but this broadcast is our partners. We're organised by the gaming company, supported by the wonderful people over at Riot Games. Our esports broadcast platform is Vera Esports. And make sure you follow us at facebook.com/Valorant Esports MYSG to see all of these dominant plays that have just been displayed.
Exactly. You don't have to be on Twitch. You can be on Vera Esports website himself and their Facebook page. But here we go. Suddenly, Bleed losing momentum. And it's to trickle in onto A side into the arms of Paper X, and they are down for the count. Since there is a bonus, they still can afford these buys, but every round it goes to Paper X. They charge up these momentums much faster than Bleed for sure. Especially when you know they're so aggressive. You could always find a random Paper X member up on mid, or they could just all be playing on a site. It's hard to get a read onto them, but it's not impossible for Bleed, I think.
Darion actually buys a rifle for flaring here, opting to play their own knives instead with a big shield.
Get out of my way!
Still, it's not the perfect buy. Over side of Bleed. Look at the speed here from Forsaken. What a rollout. However, now they are a touch exposed to multiple angles as this drops over. Flaring's going to find themselves isolated. Mind Freak so aggressive. You thought that the jet was diving. You don't even know the meaning of the word, baby. Jing now wraps around the back. In the gardens here, they need to take down the doorway. Darion buys in weight, knives in hand. Is going to have to move away from that fragment, but they don't catch Forsaken in time. Every gunfight goes the way of Paper X. A flawless execution against a rifle by Paper X have come to play now.
And what did it all start out? Forsaken, pushing out mid, unpunished, still gets frags for himself. He's opened up so much for his teammates, right? He just enables them either push out or get whatever angles that they need, compared to, you know, just chilling up at mid, not really pushing out. You're giving Bleed a lot of space to move at. I feel like only Forsaken has seen most of these plays going unpunished half of these times. And now forcing Bleed into the eco is not looking good, but it's not undoable either, I think, since they've been bum rushing and hasn't been working out. But actually, I take that back. It's Forsaken bum rushing into them. I don't blame them though.
You are not the one who rushes. It is I. Lying in wait is Mind Freak. That's a big pull right here. Actually doesn't get spotted. And Mind Freak plays it patiently. Waits for Darion to come into range. That's 1, 2. The adjustment isn't there from Lene to use the Hunter's Fury to remove Mind Freak. And simply the adjustment is too late. Now Mind Freak can look for a Nova Pulse maybe, but it does not matter. Kill after kill, Mind Freak has been gifted with the prescience of the cosmos. The infinite yawning majesty of the great black beyond is reaching out and claiming Bleed.
That's a wallbang. And that's an amazing execution. I mean, understandably, eco fraggers right there. But still, the drone being killed out by someone onto CT. I didn't catch exactly who, and that left, was it Mind Freak chilling at logs there, unchecked, right? So it was just perfect. Not just the trigger discipline, but also to play off the rest of your teammates, thinking that it is clear. Instant repositions, take out the round, and of course, every kill, it's economy.
Oh, Forsaken, they run with the knife. They're so confident. I don't believe that Bleed have the metal to stop them, but Lene certainly believes they do. Damage done to Jing, who will be able to get out of there with only a touch of a scrape on their elbow. No more fragment and 1 more flash. And they have to wait for the 0 point to recharge.
That's correct. Now playing extra slow with Forsaken finally being addressed there. But the rest of the team's going to congregate.
Here.
Knife. Not going to catch anyone in the meantime. But they're making the presence known so
Aldrin's
far.
actually been sent into mid. That should give an idea here. Interestingly, Jing can't pop their own ultimate because they're suppressed by the other null command. First Love needs to get down their utility and get out of there as soon as possible, because if they start losing control of those nanoswarms or post-plant, it's going to be much more difficult. And there it is. The ultimate pops, flash drive sent on in. Jing instantly fragged. Darion is hot to trot when it comes to these. Yes, you can bisect the site, but that simply means that no one can help you and no one can hear you scream. The Cosmic Divide from Mind Freak will do nothing but grant them safety on their extrication.
Love it. Flawless execution from Bleed there, losing no one at all. With Mind Freak can't even get close because of the door. Oh my god. Yeah, I think a lot of resources were kind of expended onto that, but Bleed still the one that comes out in the end. They actually expended Paper Rex's resources for this round win.
Yeah, Jing, they wanted to try and stop this using that null command, but they were instantly headshot by Darion, who had some excellent crosshair placement on the emergence from heaven. Knew exactly where that was coming from. One of the downsides of the KO ultimate, obviously, is that you can kind of triangulate where the KO is by watching where those neutralizing rays kind of come out from. It's a beacon as to your location.
That's correct. And not just that, though, he got instantly headshot as well. It's not like the null command reduces damage, right? It just, it's like a natural steam beacon, but if you get one tapped, you're gone.
Forsaken finally has the operator in hand, and Darion in grave. Still, every good frag deserves a refrag, and Lene provides it onto Jing. Devi gets out of there just in time, otherwise they would have been permanently suppressed. Well, not permanently, for a couple of seconds. It's down to 4-4.
What's Mind Freak doing?
He's having himself a little jump spot.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a hop, skip, and a jump, right? No one there, though.
This will give him a good indication as to when to pop one of those stars.
That's true.
I wonder if you'd use both the Nova Pulse and the Gravity Well there to try and stop people from being able to run away from a Gravity Well, and then you can take your swing onto many vulnerable members. Forsaken here with only 70 HP, a wide swing, would be difficult to deal with. Forsaken's literally holding the angle. Oh, he's just built different, man.
Yeah, he's down to 45, not dead though, which means it's still danger for Bleed. But here we go though, the attackers, they're gonna come in here, the lockdown is going on site. There's nothing to take this up, but the boathouse is not exactly here just yet, and it is good. The shock dart finds Forsaken, and they will trickle in. Oh no, flaring, it's looking the wrong way. The smoke dissipates at the worst possible timing, but it is post-pot right now for 3 versus 3 with a scoreline of 3-3. Oh my god, still could be anyone's game.
Mind Freak moves on forward into the Cosmic Form for a while. Lexi gets the advantage as they take the swing. So many different agents we've seen from Lexi today. Devi has brought forth the tour de force. But do they have the je ne sais quoi? The answer's no, it's taken away, but still, I'm just fine with the Vandal, mate. First love now in a 1 versus 2, surrounded on all sides. There's time for the defuse as well. Paper Rex steal this one away from under Bleed's nose.
Really their nose though. I think Forsaken living there was one thing, but of course the shock that did some work, right? So maybe the entire team got a little too overconfident, but I guess the timing also didn't work well for, I believe it was flaring, right? The CT smoke dissipated, and then one that was ready for the peak. So this is a good case of being unlucky, but can't really score too much on that though, as they are still available for full buys. Dorion is feeling in his element, but the rest of the team need to play some catch up. And I don't mean the tomato sauce.
Oh no. We've seen this before. Benkai, does he have the movement to avoid this? A fancy footwork. The dance with the devil. You dance with the devil and you dance with Devi. But he's always fatal when it comes to the tango. And Paper Rex now have a 2-man advantage despite the early investment of Lena's ultimate. Tagged once again. But Benkai feeling merciful. Oh, they're going to try and combine this with the Gravity Well. Jinka gets so much damage. The Gravity Well used right there. First Love just shuffles himself into a corner to avoid the damage from a fragment. Jingbot so low. Surely the Nano Swarm will claim their life. So much of the utility was needed there. And there's nowhere for First Love to go. A Vandal on one side, an Operator on the other. Pick your poison. Sophie's choice. Paper Rex hit 5.
Absolutely. They try to expend so much resources, like you said, just to take out one member. That's testament to their abilities, right? Imagine if they can't even break through gardens. What kind of other opportunities do they have? Especially losing down 2 members really early on in the game. Right now, with Operators still on Forsaken, forcing the rest of members of Bleed into yet another eco. I feel like they've never really gotten a chance to hold post plan after the second or third round of this game. They've always been dying to frags.
Lena having to play with only a classic here. It's a mixed buy from the team. Oh my god. Forsaken is simply built different. 3 kills, Mind Freak, claimed by the Nano Swarm, but in the end, it simply does not matter. Forsaken does not respect Bleed at all.
Guys, what's he got for breakfast? What is his workout routine? I gotta know all these, man.
What size gaming chair does he have?
Yeah, no, it's true.
What's his lung capacity?
We have to measure a gamer's capacity by their gaming chair. You're absolutely right, Lickday.
Is he chewing gaming gum?
Oh no. Everyone's gonna make reference of this. Gaming gum, guys. You heard it here first. We want 10% commission.
Suppressing.
0 point noted. I don't know if anyone's been suppressed right there. Forsaken yet again claims the first kill. It feels like first blood has been claimed so often by this Jet.
Yep.
There's a reason why they've attained a legendary status here in APAC.
How did he walk out of top mid without being punished, right? No, sorry, he walked out a catwalk. Someone could have been at top mid and could have just died, but he just white swung, right? So here we go though. Got a fragment, maybe to come in here. It could be a flash that's being ready to pop. And here we go. That flash actually makes Jing actually whip out his own fragment. But Bankai is up on side there. Up on lane, Lexi goes down. The rest of the people is actually right still there. But he's waiting for his members to come in for the retake. But First Love is still chilling up on mid. They gave Bankai the Q that he needs. And he goes down in the meantime. Has 2 members left alive for bleed right now. It's all completely falling apart. Dario gets addressed there. And then he's got to reposition. A Forsaken is up high, and that's what death from above truly means.
We had a couple of paper wrecks, a little bit of trolling utils right there. Do not nade while blinded, kids. Otherwise, you might well hit yourself. And of course, I think that Bankai probably wanted that reconnaissance arrow to be bouncing into the side itself rather than right back at him.
Yeah, that's right.
I dodge my own arrows to keep myself fit.
Oh. I put arrows.
Is this going to be a blade storm and a double updraft here?
1, 2. Wait, Bankai has all Forsaken also has an ult here, which you will pop. Yep, both dishwashers coming out. Almost.
Oh,
wait, no, he got
lovely.
suppressed. Massive
0
knife.
point. There's always the backup option of using the operator. Pathetic. Why bother at that point? Forsaken.
That's kind of anticlimactic, right? So you got 2 knives pop out, a couple of utils, and now it's just for a full reset. Yeah?
I mean, it was a good understanding from Lexi, though, of how to try and stop that. The second they heard the updraft, they were like, hold up, shenanigans are afoot here. There's some tomfoolery going on. Look how closely Device playing this. It might be about the one and done. They can't take out the Astra, who's in her astral form, but what can be done is multiple members getting pinged. Flaring falls low. Devi may consider moving in again. The sound of the ultimate being claimed means that 2 ultimates are available here for Bleed as we head into the penultimate round of their attacking half.
You should
They lose this eco already. They're gonna try to do this work. Okay, a couple of ultimates as well. Davai is gonna peek out. He's gonna make a repeat just now. No, this time he gets punished. So this time they can actually get on site. But okay, lockdown is gone. It's gonna catch 2 at least. But Jing is on site. You cannot underestimate him. The wall is coming out. It's to scan out 2 people and almost a collab. Forsaken takes that one. He will reset, but Lexi makes short work of him in the meantime. There, it's a bomb rush up on main itself, and it's Jing. We're up against First Love. No problem, says Jing, as they're gonna probably bring this to a 9-3.
Last
And we know
round
what that
in the
means.
half.
Paper Rex, they have found so much momentum here in the late defensive side. Bleed. Remember, those first 2 rounds they gained with a pistol and the anti-eco afterwards, where Darion got their ace. And we thought that maybe the fates had turned around. Sure, it was an eco fragger moment. But Darion being able to claim an ace in round number 2, maybe it was going to be different. Maybe it was going to be something else. But Paper Rex have decided, you know what, we're sticking to the script, boys. I've got a hot date tonight. I've got to get out of here.
There really any time the
That's
Forsaken.
really interesting. Using the Odin to break the turret when they've heard that being placed by using the wallbang.
Oh, I did not catch where the turret was, but good observation, I think. I was wondering where those Odins were flying.
Yeah, it was right towards the turret was on top of Booth to allow for Forsaken to move up undetected. They did manage to take out First Love, but the refrag was strong. 3 versus 3 now as Bleed. They try to finish off their attacking half with a bang. Remember, because we are in round 12, Zeno. They aren't worried at all about dying to the spike. The peel is good from Darion. Jing wanted to rush in onto Lena, but it's a bait and a switch, and could it be yet another ace from Darion? As so their rifle shenanigans started, so too they may end. Darion with 2 aces on the attacking side, only if they can beat Mind Freak, which simply looks impossible. Time beginning to make a fool of Paper Rex on their defense, and Mind Freak has to cover 2 players that are both in this area. The sweep out gives the ping, and now it's simply looking for the frag. Lexi's the one to claim it, and this is 8-4.
That's big brain. Paper X not letting the 9-3 curse come to fruition. So actually giving the round to Bleed. You all heard it here first, guys. But yeah, credit where credit's due. Darion, he was fragging out there. The positioning was great. The timing was perfect as well. But still, 4 more rounds to try to catch. They're going to play catch up, right? This is exactly what happened in Fracture, where Paper Rex was actually down 4 points after the first half here. And considering that this is Bleed's map, there is almost an equal level of, defender / attacker favoritism here. I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like this is probably one of the most even maps in the game. It does feel like if you've got a particularly good lurking Sentinel, that it can feel pretty defensively sided. Obviously, Gambit and Nats this is probably one of their best maps, simply because Nats is such an amazing lurker. Darion, as they try to escape, they simply do not account for Forsaken being the double peak here. Now both of the teams have lost one player, but I think this is slightly in the favor of Bleed at the moment, since they don't really need the Jet. Forsaken. Oh, no. Whoa, Lexi! That was a body block from Jing. I think that actually saved Forsaken's life by having the penetration damage of the bullet lowered by moving through Jing first.
Yeah, he died for his sins. I completely agree.
It's okay. Get down, Mr. President.
They have to put a leash on him. It's Bankai again. Last man standing. For almost like every time now, it's always Bankai last man standing too. And I don't think they actually know where he is. Well, he's kind of making a beeline for B. Lol.
Well, Bankai getting a free plant here is great. That means that even if Bankai loses this 1 versus 3, which is obviously entirely likely, this will allow for Paper X to buy a force in the next round if they want it.
Yeah,
Bankai the first. A second? No. Runs out of ammo. That's the danger of the right click. If you don't hit them all, you run out of ammo bloody fast,
Yeah, you just get 4 chances at the right click, and it got first love down pretty low. I think they should be feeling okay with this, right? Taking first pistol round for the second half, transitioning that potentially into good buy rounds here, hopefully. Lenny opting for the Ares, as most Sovas usually do, in a sense, on defense.
We're no longer in the Hyper Ares meta, at least. That was a dark month.
Oh yeah, it was.
Here.
Luckily, it was deep in our off-season, so we didn't really have much in the way of VCT that was being ruled by the God of War.
That's right. Both God of Wars. I don't know who decided the names for the 2 machine guns, but I guess whoever did a pretty good job. But here we go, Forsaken. The anime fight, though. He threw entirely Bleed into confusion, but still he gets punished. Go first, let me double for himself before getting taken out by a shock dart. Camera's a little bit too confused as well, as everything just unfolded way too quickly, like they.
Even trades are not okay, though. If you are Bleed, this is supposed to be your anti-eco divide with a loot inspector unable to do too much for Blind Freak. Simply build different! 2 SMGs and a Phantom slain. Anti-eco, you say? Nah, mate, that's just a disappointment for you. Paper X hit 9 and flip the script.
If anyone can do this well, it will be Paper X. And they're already up 2-0 in this best of 5 series, ladies and gentlemen. Bleed about to be, I was about to say eliminated, but this is the grand finals, guys. There can only be a king.
About to be seconded.
Yep, seconded. But are you terrified though for being seconded? After all, I think Bleed deservingly first place or second place, they're probably pretty happy here.